The former President Jacob Zuma will be in attendance during proceedings to decide whether it was lawful to grant him medical parole at the Supreme Court of Appeal. The Department of Correctional Services expected to defend its decision to release Zuma from the Estcourt prison. He was sentenced to 15 months in jail after defying a constitutional court order which compelled him to appear before the State Capture Commission. Let's talk now to our reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo, who is outside the court. Ziyanda, good morning to you. Some high-profile people seen getting off the vehicles there, one of which is Dudumieni. Does that, I suppose, cement the view that the former president will certainly be in court today?
Well, all indications are that the former president will be in court, but actually somebody who can actually confirm this is one Mzwanele Manyi, who speaks for the former president's foundation. When can we expect for former President Jacob Zuma to arrive?
Well, the case starts at 9:30. He should be in the dock at that time, yes.
I mean, we're expecting a full day of hearings, and I think one of the things that would be of interest to the former president is what the Helen Suzman Foundation has requested, that the time that former President Jacob Zuma has spent out on medical parole not form part of the 15-month jail term sentence. I mean, is he prepared? Has he been preparing himself mentally for the possibility of going back to the Estcourt correctional facility?
Well, this case has always been about hatred. This case has always been about vengeance, has always been about vindictiveness, has never been about law. There is no law that does not recognize that parole is in itself a prison condition. Now, if you are going to say this prison condition is not enough, that you want to add, basically you are saying these right-wing elements are saying that the sentence must be extended. This is another sentence on top of another sentence. So no, indeed, we're not prepared for that. That's not going to happen because this is a place for law. If law will be seen to be done, it cannot be that we can have judges here that will agree with that lunacy of saying a person that whose movements have been restricted, a person who could not even attend his own press briefings, a person who could not go to other provinces, and to say that person was basically on holiday. What nonsense is that? So we really think that justice must be seen to be done, but we want to say that this case is not about law, it's about politics, it's about vengeance, it's about people that really passionately hate President Zuma, and they would rather want to see him dead. They want to send him to prison to die.
I think the irony here is that some could say that the former president himself does not respect the law. He was told by the Constitutional Court that he's compelled to attend the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. If you're saying that this is not about the law and about politics, the same could be said about the patron of your foundation.
His Excellency President Zuma was denied trial. He would have made his arguments in a trial court. He was denied trial. He was denied fair hearing. He was just told that you shall do this. So therefore his constitutional rights to a fair trial were denied. So you can't say a person like that does not respect the law. President Zuma has been religiously attending courts from all kinds of cases that he's heard, and the only reason that this is a situation here is that President Zuma also had a review application going. So why is it that we have a court that decided to ignore the fact that the review application is actually ongoing, and therefore they should have awaited that outcome at least, So, indeed, President Zuma has always been on the right side of the law. All you have here, you've got jurists that you had in that constitutional court that were very angry, that were very aggrieved. In fact, truth be told, they actually didn't even qualify to sit on that panel because they were themselves aggrieved that President Zuma has disrespected them and all of that. So you are sitting there with a bunch of aggrieved people, and they meted out a very malicious and a very unfair sentence.
How is it possible, though, that also perhaps those who sat on the medical parole board, which found that the former president is not either terminally ill or incapacitated, are you saying they were angry too when they suggested and said that he should not be released on parole? But secondly, you are speaking about politics. One could also say, is it politics that Arthur Fraser went against that medical parole board and actually continued and forged ahead with granting him medical parole?
Your facts are very wrong. Fact number one is that Arthur Fraser had two medical considerations to take into account. The one by the medical practitioners who actually examined President Zuma, those that actually diagnosed him. He had that piece of report. He also had the report from not the parole board, keep making this point, advisory board. So he had two medical opinions that were conflicting, and he took all of that into account when he made the decision. So this whole hula baloo that overruled the parole board is nonsensical, is factually incorrect, does not exist, and therefore must not be peddled. Arthur Fraser is the commissioner who, in terms of the law, Correctional Services Act, for all convicts that are 24 months and less, he's got the absolute authority to make a decision on this. So for people to be making these kinds of arguments is really uncalled for.
Well, those arguments about the absolute power of Arthur Fraser are exactly what are going to be debated in court this morning, Xoli. And in fact, I've just heard the sirens going off. It's an indication, perhaps, that former President Jacob Zuma is well on his way. Court is set to begin at around 9:45 today. So we are anticipating that he will be arriving at 9:30, I should say. So we're anticipating that he should be arriving any moment from now, Xoli. But certainly a lot's at stake for the former president and his freedom this morning.
Live at the Bloemfontein High Court, Ziyanda Ngcobo, thank you very much for that update.